Remember the disclaimer, and also remember that the people that supported me on Patreon got to see preview images, work in progress shots, and high resolution images of the completed toys. If you want to join them, the link is in the description below. Hello everybody, this is Wake Angel 2001 coming at you with a commission for Akumath TH, who, as I recall, is one of the first 3 people to ever commission me for anything, way back when I started doing this 10 years ago almost. So, yeah, the thing that he wants now is a minifigure of Thunderbolt the Chinchilla. It's a minifigure because Thunderbolt is a really tiny little girl. She's actually barely 10 inches tall in the actual fiction. Although she's not like a little girl. She's like, I think she's like 23 or 25 or something, but, you know, chinchillas are just very small animals, is what I'm trying to get at. Okay, so since this is a character that comes to us from the comic book, that means we are going to do a backstory. But instead of focusing on Thunderbolt herself, let's do a quick crash course on the egg bosses. Some of you may remember that during the run of the comic book, Eggman allied his empire with the Dark Legion, which got renamed the Dark Egg Legion. And it wouldn't only remain echidnas for long, because he would soon grow cells all over the planet of the various peoples that lived around. You know, implanting them with cybernetics, secretly putting bombs inside them in case they went out of line. You know, they were just there to help maintain his empire's operations globally. After the Super Genesis wave, a lot of the characters who were in the Dark Egg Legion were lost to the reboot, and we got a whole bunch of new ones, of which Thunderbolt was one. So the thing is, with the egg bosses, you have certain levels of loyalty. Someone on the internet made this little pyramid, which I'm not sure is 100% accurate, but seems close enough. You have those that are secretly trying to undermine Dr. Eggman, or just trying to get something from him and then they can take it, like how Cassia just needed treatment for Clove, or how Lord Fukurakov from the Battlebird Armada was just trying to find a way to make the Empire his own. But you know, as you get up, there's actually some of these egg bosses actually genuinely liked Eggman. If not liked him, then at least believed that his rule was what the world needed. Thunderbolt kind of took it a step further than that, but before we go into this, I kind of have to go off on a little bit of a non sequitur about, well, I guess there's no other way to put it, egg shipping. So, the funny thing is that Dr. Eggman, or Robotnik, has actually been in relationships a couple of times, despite the fact that I never really known him to be too interested. Like, he seems like a fairly asexual individual, but let's not judge. The first one was Catella from the Adventures of Sonic the Hedgehog cartoon. I think she was some kind of interstellar bounty hunter or something. I actually haven't watched this cartoon in years, so I don't remember completely. But I did know that she could turn herself into a giant heart shape, and she was aggressive, to say the least. Let's just say that some frames from that episode have been gifted by quite a few people. And the Sonic X comic book adaptation, there was a little bit of a thing that they had going on between the maid Ella and Dr. Eggman, mostly in his El Gran Gordo persona from his time spent as a mass wrestler, because, you know, that's a thing that happened in the comic book for Sonic X, because why not? And aside from that, within the proper Archie comic book, aside from Thunderbolt's obvious crush on him, there was also Wendy Witch Carter Naugus, also known as Ixis Naugus' sister. Yeah, the comic didn't last too much longer after this arc, so well, let's just say that I think the biggest tragedy of the cancellation of the Archie comic book series is that we never got to see the resolution to the love triangle between Wendy Witchcarter, Eggman, and Thunderbolt the Chinchilla. Okay, so yeah, enough about that non sequitur about Dr. Eggman's potential romantic life. Let's get back to Thunderbolt's backstory specifically. Okay, so Thunderbolt, finally. If I were to sum up Thunderbolt in a quick little statement, I would say it's like if you crossed Harley Quinn with a Pikachu. Or maybe I should say a Togedemaru because she is a chinchilla, and Togedemaru is more based on a chinchilla than anything else. But you know, that's just splitting hairs. She's tiny electric obsessed waifu. Like she even put her face over Metal Sonic's in a picture because you know she wants Dr. Eggman to look at her that way. If you look up there, she even has a poster of him on the ceiling, so he's literally the last thing she sees at night. So yeah, she was the most genuinely loyal and infatuated member of the Egg Bosses, and would even call out the other Egg Bosses for not being loyal enough. Quite frankly, it's actually refreshing that she was calling them out on their loyalty, and like say when she got partnered up with Cassia, she said that she wasn't showing enough affection for Eggman. I actually genuinely half expected her to be jealous of Cassia because, you know, Cassia is taller and prettier than she is, and she probably would have gotten jealous. But nope, they didn't fall into that trap. Although, you see, she does have her hand up in that ooh pose, like you know, like the anime woman laugh. I remember Naga from Slayers did it. I don't know how many of you watch Slayers, but that's a thing. Now, her loyalty actually did buy her quite a bit of favor, as Eggman was always be willing to give her these big old giant mech suits that she could go around and punch things in. And every weapon that he would give to her, she would consider to be a precious gift that she would be so horribly saddened if it was damaged or destroyed, because like it was a gift from her Lord Eggman. She shouldn't take it for granted, and how dare someone else damage it. Of course, even without this, she did have her own powers. As a chinchilla, she is of course covered with a thick layer of fur, which builds up quite a bit of static electricity, and her cybernetic enhancements allow her to release bolts of electricity, kind of like what Lianda could do before the Super Genesis wave. So yeah, like I said, she really is basically just a Pikachu Harley Quinn. Although I'm wondering if she's actually fat or if her round shape is just because of all of her fluff. I always wanted to see if somebody like would put out her electricity by soaking her in water and seeing if she's actually skinny as a rail and it's just her fluff that makes her look round. Alright, so that was all fun. But let's actually make the toy now. We're past the 8-minute mark. Although this is just a quick little minifigure, so this part of the video should be done pretty fast. I did make an original 3D model myself in Tinkercad for this one. Nothing too complicated. It's basically a ball with little feet coming out of it, and another weird shape on top of the ball to be your head. If for some reason it didn't print out very smooth. I don't know why a simple ball didn't print right, but it didn't matter because I could easily cover over whatever scars in the print matrix came out with my epoxy, since of course I would have to sculpt on quite a few more details, starting from the center, of course, and working my way out. I made the muzzle and face first, along with her big old chinchilla ears, and then her backpack, which is where her batteries are stored. And then once all this had a chance to stabilize, I made her arms. I put them out in a kind of a gesticulating posture, and the hands actually come from an Equestria Girls mini. I think they're one of the ones from Dave the Intern or Chris Thorndike from before. I also poked holes into the backpack and in strategic parts in the back of her hands and on the top of her head so that I would be able to run wires through. These wires are, of course, the power conduits that allow her to do her whole little shocky electric chinchilla thing. And a little bit of a controversy with how I first tried to paint her with teeth, but that looked weird, so I just gave her a big old open mouth. And let's take a look at the completed toy so you can see what I'm talking about. And here she is! Thunderbolt's costume kind of looks like a Christmas-themed version of the original Dr. Eggman costume. I wonder if that's what they were going for. Like, it really looks a lot like the original Eggman suit, except it has grays instead of blacks, and that big green collar, which that's what makes me think Christmas theme, because it almost looks like she's wearing a wreath. But yeah, that is Thunderbolt the Chinchilla in minifigure form. Of course, the reason she is a minifigure is because this actually matches better in scale. When you put her standing next to the regular Sonic figures, it is closer to what Thunderbolt would actually look like standing next to them. So, for a final little joke to end this on, Thunderbolt! I choose you! Use static!
Yes, my lord! I mean, Pika!
I couldn't let this go without a Pokemon reference. Alright, thank you all for watching the video. We'll see you next time. This is Wake Angel 2001, signing off.